It's time for America Outdoors Radio. The fast-paced hour of outdoors radio ahead is not only awesome, but unlike those other shows, you can actually sleep in for this one. Better still, we've got a special Pacific Northwest edition for you, sponsored by Northwest Sportsman Magazine. You won't find this version of America Outdoors Radio anywhere else. It's the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio. Brought to you by Fox Sports 1380 KRKO.
Welcome to the show. Bob Rees, the editor of the Guides Forecast, a weekly newsletter covering the fishing scene throughout the state of Oregon, will join us at the bottom of the hour to let you know how the spring Chinook fishing near Tillamook has been of late, and he's going to give you his take on some good fishing that should be going on in the fresh and the saltwater in the days ahead. Bob's also going to come back at the end of the show to give us the latest on recreational crabbing efforts along the northern Oregon coast, and he's got some suggestions on where to go dig some clams in that region during the next minus tide. But before we head to Northwest Oregon, we need to tell you what's going on here in Washington, because it's time again to tell you what's hot. From NorthwestFishingReports.com, we learned that at least last weekend, what you were fishing for on Lake Washington kind of determined the day that you had. 3 anglers reported on this popular website that they had great days catching trout and kokanee. One angler caught 5 cuts in short order near Moss Bay, trolling a pink old goat lure behind a Max sling blade. And a kayak angler said he hooked 5 trout and caught 2 paddling around the Kirkland waterfront. One of those was a 4-pounder. Finally, a husband and wife team trolling over 100 feet deep near Mercer Island didn't reel in any trout, but they did catch a bunch of kokanee. On the other hand, 2 warm water anglers new to the lake and targeting perch and bass had what could best be described as so-so days. They caught fish, but they weren't exactly burning up the spool on their fishing reels. If you want to see more reports from Lake Washington and other lakes and rivers and marine areas in the Northwest, go to NorthwestFishingReports.com. East of the Cascades, the fishing is heating up under sunny skies in north central Washington. That's the word from Anton Jones with Daryl and Dad's Guide Service, who reports they are having great success fishing for kokanee in Lake Chelan. As a matter of fact, it's been pretty much nonstop lights out there for weeks now. They've been fishing 60 feet deep in the lower basin with Max wedding ring spinners or mini squid rigs baited with corn. If you want to take the kids out for a fun day of fishing, nearby Roses Lake has been smoking hot for a variety of panfish, including bluegill, red ear sunfish, and pumpkin seeds. Use a slip bobber and a worm. By the way, you might even reel in the odd channel cat while you're there. Speaking of sunny skies, you'll usually find those in abundance as well at Potholes Reservoir in Grant County. The folks at Mardon Resort there report some outstanding fishing on the reservoir last week, with multiple reports of walleye and trout limits. The trout are running 2 to 5 pounds. Successful anglers are trolling either a bikini-colored needlefish with enough weight to get to the 10 to 20-foot depth range, or they're long-lining a Berkeley flicker shad in 30 to 40 feet of water with no additional weight. For the walleye, the top spot has been Crab Creek, both above and below the power lines, trolling slow death hooks with half a night crawler in the channels. Chartreuse has been the best color, troll between 1.2 and 1.6 miles an hour. The fish are holding in 4 to 10 feet of water. Most of those walleye are running 14 to 18 inches, but a big 7-pounder was also landed last week. If you want to book a stay and go fishing at Potholes Reservoir, go to MardonResort.com. Last but not least, break out the crab pots and crab rings, because seasons have been set for summer crab fishing by the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife. As a matter of fact, it's open in Marine Area 4, that's Nia Bay, east of the Bonilla Tatoosh line, Area 5 out of CQ, and Area 11, Tacoma and Vashon. Next weekend, the 24th, Marine Area 12, Hood Canal, and a portion of Marine Area 9 and Hood Canal south of the line from O'Laley Point to Foulweather Bluff will open too. You can find out about other openings taking place this summer as well as the current regs by going to wdfw.wa.gov. And with that, you now know what's hot right here in the Pacific Northwest.
And with that, let's head to this week's national edition of America Outdoors Radio.
It's time for America Outdoors Radio, the show that covers the outdoor scene across the U.S. of A. and the entire continent. Fishing, hunting, conservation, outdoor recreation, and great destinations. We cover it all every week. It's your country, your outdoors. Let's explore it together with your host, John Cruz.
Welcome to the show. Everyone knows recruiting new anglers into the sport of fishing is a challenge we have to meet if we want to keep this tradition alive for future generations and tear those kids away from those mobile apps and devices. Sometimes getting the money for a fishing license is a real issue for these kids. That's why a bill was introduced this year to make fishing free for kids in one state. From the Fishing Wire, we learn a California bill to make sport fishing free for all youth under the age of 18 did not pass out of the Assembly Appropriations Committee and is dead. The bill, which would raise the age for license-free fishing from 16 to 18 years old, was written by the California Sport Fishing League and supported by numerous affiliate organizations to encourage a new generation of sport fishing enthusiasts. The state raises about $1.5 million a year from the more than 22,000 fishing licenses purchased by kids who are ages 16 to 17 each year, money that opponents argued California could not afford to lose. The 2017 base fee for a California sport fishing license is $47 for residents, the highest in the United States. This is really unfortunate news, especially given how much money the state of California in particular invests in trying to save kids who are already broke or breaking in society. The money we're talking about here would have been very well invested as a way of getting these kids to do healthy things as opposed to things that we don't want them doing. And in comparison to some of the ways they're throwing money around in the Golden State, this was a mistake. Sorry to see the Appropriations Committee wasn't very far-sighted when it came to this decision. Okay, enough of my little editorial. Let's talk about what's coming up on the show this week. We'll start off in the Silver State, Nevada, a place most people don't think of as a summer angling destination, but guess what? You're wrong. You're wrong. Chris Vasey with the Nevada Department of Wildlife will tell you about some of the waters you really ought to fish this summer in Nevada. We'll head from Nevada north of the U.S. border to Canada. That's right, we're heading to the central coast of British Columbia. That's where you're going to find Joe's Salmon Lodge. And we're going to talk to the owner, Doug Stufko. This is a real rags to riches story. We told you this story actually several months ago, but it's so good. And the fishing offered is so wonderful. And the way they catch salmon there is so unique that we thought we would share it with you again. We'll take you back to the lower 48 for our next segment, but not too far. Bellingham, Washington is our first destination. That's where Dave King with Belhaven Yachts not only sells power and sailing yachts, he rents them out too for week-long charters into the nearby San Juan Islands and the Gulf Islands of British Columbia. Think a week of fishing, crabbing, and exploring Northwest Islands sounds fun? Yep. So do I. Right after that, we'll take you to Astoria, Oregon. That's where Pro Escobedo, the owner of VIP Outdoors Guide Service, will be hosting his annual Fish Like a Girl tournament again this August for big salmon at the mouth of the Columbia River. This event is only open to the ladies, and the biggest fish is going to net the winner a brand new Willie drift boat. Nice. As usual, we've got outdoors news this week covering the latest on the tournament trail, along with information about a recall of a popular .22 caliber pistol manufactured by Ruger. And then we'll wrap things up talking with Shane Mizell. He's with Leupold Optics, and he just got back from an incredible big game hunt in America. Not North America, though. No, we are talking about the far reaches of South America, where Shane was targeting red stag. This promises to be a great conversation about an incredible adventure. Next on America Outdoors Radio, we're taking you to Nevada. Now, I know, when I mention Nevada, the first thing that comes to your mind is probably gambling in Las Vegas or Reno or Laughlin, but you know what? There's some good fishing to be found. And with us here to tell you more about it is Chris Vasey. He is the Conservation Education Administrator with the Nevada Department of Wildlife. Chris, thanks for taking some time to be on the show today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So, Chris, I understand you just got off the water with some kids. What was going on up there near Sparks, Nevada?
Oh, we were on our Sparks Marina, and we were getting ready for Free Fishing Day. And right before Free Fishing Day is we stock Sparks Marina really well. And we had an opportunity to take some of the Washoe County special needs kids out and take them out on the water for a day for themselves to go fishing before the big crowds come on Free Fishing Day. So it was just a day on the water right now, and we just spent that, just got off actually, and everybody caught fish, and everybody had a great time.
Well, let's talk about a few places to go fishing, particularly in western Nevada, and we'll start over by Reno. Now, I think everybody knows that Lake Tahoe is a great destination to go for trout, for kokanee, and for lake trout too, but there's some other waters in your neck of the woods worth mentioning too, aren't there?
Yeah, it just depends on what you're looking for. If you're in the local area and you're just right here in downtown Reno, we have the Truckee River, which is a really underutilized fishery, and that fishery is really, really good. And from top to bottom, from the California border all the way down to, as you get closer to Pyramid, it's a really good fishery and lots of opportunity, big trout to catch, and some of the best fishing is right in downtown. And that would be one of the locations you could go if you were here in the Reno area. But if you were just looking for more of an urban setting or more of a area that's more park setting, we have plenty of the parks here. Crystal Peak Park, which is up in Bird Eye. You can go catch Lahontan cutthroat if that's one of your challenges. You can catch Lahontan cutthroat right out of that pond that's up there in Crystal Peak. We have some other urban ponds. We're more near the Alpine setting. If you go up Mount Rose Highway, it's called Maryland's Pond, and that's just a nice little pond that we stock. It's great for taking kids, good place to take kids. So if you want to get adventure, you can go northern Washoe, you can go out towards Boulder and Squaw Creek reservoirs and, kind of get out of the way of the crowds. Those are other places you go. We have a lot of waters that really don't get fished a whole lot because people don't know where they are. So it's a matter just to, kind of looking up where you want to go in northern Nevada.
So here's a question heading towards southwest Nevada, towards Laughlin. Last time I was there, I saw the Colorado River, and I was wishing that I had a fishing rod. What kind of fish do you find in that stretch of the Colorado, and how is the fishing right around Bullhead City and Laughlin there?
Well, it's good. You got cold water, so you're going to have your trout. And in some of the more warm water, like if you were to head over to Lake Mead, you could actually get into some striper and bass. And, we have a lot of opportunity, both on the warm water side and the cold water. So if you were going into Laughlin, you could go fish for large trout in the river there. And then if you were to want to go over and target some bass, you could go over to Lake Mead. It's just a great opportunity. And it's right over the hill from Vegas. And a lot of people don't know that they have this great fishery on both sides.
What is your favorite place to go fishing in Nevada that you'd suggest people try out who have never fished in Nevada before?
I'm more of a river-driven person. I like going to the rivers. We have two rivers I would try if you're looking for a little bit of a different type of fishing. The Truckee River is amazing. There's fish top to bottom, and we really have a good fishery there if you're in the town of Reno. And then there's also the East Walker, and it's kind of a hidden pleasure too. It's out of the way and removed out of the scene, and it's just a really good fishery as well.
And what's the best lake you think folks ought to try in Nevada in terms of the most popular lake with the best results for fishing?
Best lake, best results. It's just depending, like what I said before. It's kind of what you're looking for. If you're looking for, taking some kids out, I would concentrate more on your urban settings. But if you're looking for some adventure and you want to get out in the middle of nowhere, some of our eastern portion of our state is really good. South Fork Reservoir, amazing fishery, both on the trout and bass. And then Wild Horse Reservoir, another great fishery in the eastern portion of the state for going out and being successful and being removed from the crowds. It's a really good place to be.
All right, well, there you go, folks. The next time you head to Nevada, bring your fishing rod. Get out of that casino. You're going to be a richer man for it. Trust me, in more ways than one. You can find out more about fishing in Nevada by going to their website. It's very simple, ndow.org. That's ndow.org. Chris, thanks for taking the time to give us the overview of the great fishing you've got there in Nevada on America Outdoors Radio.
Well, looking forward to seeing people on the water.
The Caddis Game Changer breathable waders are going to change the way you fish. You've always counted on Caddis waders to keep you warm and dry through the years, and Caddis never lets you down. Now comes the Game Changer. It's the same tough durability and the addition of a zippered hard pouch pocket that opens up to become a work shelf. Now you can change accessories on the water for maximum flexibility. Look for Caddis Game Changer breathable waders wherever quality fishing products are sold or online at caddiswaders.com.
Tillamook Bay is considered the greatest fishing experience on the west coast for fall Chinook salmon and winter steelhead, and Dungeness crab is plentiful. 5 major rivers connect with the ocean on the Tillamook coast. It's not unusual to snag a 40 to 50 pounder. Go out in a boat or stand on a riverbank or dock. Try fishing from a dory boat and experience the thrill of a beach launch and landing. Use spinners, sand shrimp, or salmon eggs to lure them. The fish will line up to grab your bait. Go to tillamookcoast.com/fishing to find guides and places to stay. Whether commercial or recreational, Barrett Marine Company has an aluminum vessel to meet your needs. From the Kraken series of unsinkable aluminum tenders to our wide beam 2385 Ocean Pilot House with commercial strength, all aluminum construction and seating for 6 adults, or the 32-foot Ocean SF, perfectly balancing heavy use commercial quality and low maintenance comfort to extend your time on the water, think Barrett Marine Company. Find us on Facebook at Barrett Marine Co. That's Barrett with 2 T's, Marine CO.
DEZ Tactical match-grade AR rifles are precision-built to provide guaranteed sub-MOA accuracy. Here at DEZ, we believe in guarantees backed by data. That's why every rifle we build is live-fire tested for accuracy and sent with original test target. Add in our manufacturer's lifetime warranty and you can count on your DEZ rifle for a lifetime of performance. See a full list of our rifles, parts, and accessories at DEZtactical.com. DEZ Tactical, upping the expectations of what an AR rifle should be.
Did you check out this month's edition of Northwest Sportsman Magazine? If you didn't, you're missing out because it's the best publication out there that covers the fishing and hunting scene, not only in Washington State, but in the entire Northwest. Northwest Sportsman Magazine has got great writers and great content you need to have to be successful. Northwest Sportsman Magazine is the publication for you. Find out more at nwsportsmanmag.com or pick up a copy at a newsstand near you.
Looking for the safest, most stable riding boat on the market? Welcome to Stabicraft. Born in New Zealand, Stabicraft has a built-in reputation for making the most seaworthy boats on the market. Heavy-gauge aluminum chambered boats with models ranging from 14 to 29 feet in a variety of configurations to suit all your needs. Check out the all-new 2750 center cab, a walk-around design for the Northwest market and packed with industry-leading features to suit all types of fishing, allowing you to adventure with confidence. Book a test ride today at stabicraft.com.
We're talking to Mike Meisberg again at Mardon Resort at Eastern Washington's huge Potholes Reservoir. Mike, why is your resort so popular every summer?
Fun in the sun, in a beautiful warm camping area, swimming area, fishing for all kinds of fish, especially topwater bass fishing.
We are just scratching the surface as to why you'll want to head there this summer. Find out more at mardonresort.com. That's Mardon Resort, where the fish bite, but we don't.
Rad Power Bikes is an electric bike manufacturer offering direct-to-consumer pricing on powerful premium electric bikes. Because they sell direct to you, the consumer, you won't see the large retail markup that would be present if you were buying from a third party or a dealer, ensuring you're always getting a performance e-bike at a fraction of the cost. Visit radpowerbikes.com or call 1-800-939-0310 to learn more about their models or to place an order. Join Rad Power Bikes in jump-starting the electric bike revolution today.
You're back with America Outdoors Radio. It's our O Canada edition where we're checking out great places to fish and hunt in Canada. And this portion of the show is brought to you by Northwest Sportsman Magazine. It's the monthly magazine that covers the fishing and hunting scene throughout the greater Northwest to include British Columbia. Speaking of which, that's where we're going right now, to a very well-known saltwater fishing lodge on the central BC coast. It's called Joe Salmon Lodge. With us here to tell you more about it is the owner, Doug Stufko. Doug, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So, Doug, tell us the story about Joe Salmon Lodge and how you got to be in the position you're in, because you literally climbed your way to the top.
Well, it all started back in 1987. I started at Joe's as a dock boy and fell in love with it, worked my way up to fish master, then became manager, and eventually in 2000, I had an opportunity to buy out the original owner, partial shares, into the company, and that was in 2000. And now here I am, co-owner with a real good guy named Carl Rosenow, a longtime customer, and no, life is good.
So let's talk about the lodge itself. Is this a floating lodge, and exactly where is it located on the coast?
Yeah, floating lodge located in Hackeye Pass, which is 350 miles north of Vancouver, located just below Bella Bella in the Central Coast, BC.
Now, Hackeye Pass, I have heard of this place before because this is kind of the funnel for all those kings and coho to come through, isn't it?
Yeah. Actually, we're really well known for the Central Coast, Northern Coho fishery. Amazing. They get up to 22 pounds. You know, more so later in August into September. But our Chinook fishing or king fishing is second to none. June, July, August is prime time for the king Chinook salmon, and very close to the lodge.
Well, that's nice to hear. And I understand that when it comes to the kings, there's a 2-fish limit per day. When it comes to the coho, there's a 2-fish limit per day. And you can take home a total of 4 each. Is that right?
That is correct.
And how big do the kings get? You mentioned the cohos get up to 22, which is huge for a coho. But how big do those kings get in your neck of the woods?
Honestly, people ask me that all the time, and I basically say that 15 pounds to 50 pounds, and our largest Joe Salmon Lodge record is 72. But of course, that's a one-out fish. But 15 pounds to 50 pounds is realistic.
Well, that's fine by me. That's a lot of fish to take home. Let's talk about how you're getting them. Is this a guided operation or an unguided operation, or can you mix it up and do both?
Actually, because our location is so well protected, if the wind does kick up and we're on the outer waters, we can always move back into where it's calm. But the main thing is that we're always going to be fishing where their fish are. So it doesn't matter if it blows southeast, low pressure, or northwest, high pressure. We can always get somewhere where basically what I tell the customers is you can put, your coffee on the top of your console and it's not going to fall off. So, that's something, why our area is so well known and liked, because we never get blown off.
And that sounds like it makes it really easy for unguided fishermen to have success. For those that are a little intimidated, though, do you offer a guided option, at least maybe for a day, so they can kind of get their sea legs under them and figure out what to do?
Absolutely. Although we do have 2 fish masters that as soon as you get to the lodge, give you a full-on instructional on how to fish. And how we fish is just simply cut plug herring with an 8-ounce weight power mooching, which is just in and out of gear. And in order to do this, this is what separates us from like the Charlottes, where the water is, tides are ripping all the time. We're fishing basically the back eddies of the ocean. So we tuck around a corner and where the bait is getting pushed into the bay, the big fish are being pushed in, plus they're resting. So it gives us the opportunity to just fish in calm waters. But that being said, fish masters are there. They instruct you. They lead you out there. Fish around you at all times, and they're there if you need it. But for those who are quite novice, we do have a couple guides available and highly recommended as well.
I love that old school motor mooching. When I was a kid growing up in Puget Sound, we used to do that, and it kind of fell by the wayside. So it's nice to see that A, it's still being done, and B, that it still works. Let's talk about the boats and the gear that you're using.
Well, our boats, 17-foot Montauk whalers. Actually, this year, right now, they're all being re-and-read. They're going to be like brand new, all new custom consoles, fit boxes to radios, depth sounders, all brand new, GPS, of course. And they are the ultimate fishing boat for our area. If you're up farther north or in bigger waters, the aluminum boat is the way to go with higher gunnels. But because we're fishing in such calm waters, the low gunnel, 17-foot Boston whalers are just second to none. You can't get a better boat.
And what kind of motors are you operating off those boats?
I'm tossed. Myself and my partner are tossed between the Mercury product and the Yamaha. So right now we're running both, and we just we We appreciate both engines, so we run both.
That's more than fair.
50.
All right, so we've got an idea of how the fishing's going here. One other question on the fishing. It's Joe's Salmon Lodge, obviously, so everyone's thinking salmon, but do you have options for bottom fish and halibut too?
Oh, absolutely. Our packages are 4 and 5 day trips, so there's plenty of opportunity. And what we do is 2 fish masters, once again, collectively in the evening, while my guests are eating, myself and my 2 fish masters get together, and we look at the weather conditions and tides for the next morning, and then we get a game plan for the next morning up in the lounge at night with the customers. And one fish master always goes out for the bottom fish and halibut first thing. And another one is what I call, he goes on a safari and goes out just strictly for the salmon. So it's kind of like customer's choice, what we recommend, and collectively we get a game plan.
Well, I like it, especially if you're on like a 5-day trip and you get your salmon in the first couple days. You got plenty of time to get your bottom fish for the next couple days after that. One last thing we need to talk about here, the food and the accommodations.
The food is awesome. I am a chef in my own mind. Food is a passion to me, so I'm in that kitchen and making sure that I want to say it's testosterone approved food. Not that there's no women that come to my lodge, but it definitely is like hand carved prime rib, barbecue ribeye steak, seafood pasta. It's all the best of those.
Oh, you are speaking to me right now. That sounds fantastic. Last but not least, where are you going to lay your head at night? Are these kind of like little cabins or duplex cabins? Tell me about them.
Our accommodations are very simple. There's 2 single beds in each room. We can accommodate 3 in a room. We have rooms that have bunk beds as well. There's a bathroom in each room, and then there's showers off to the side. But very clean, very comfortable. And, with my customers, most of them are diehard fishermen. They go fishing from dawn till dusk. And, sleeping is not a problem at my place.
I understand. Well, I'll tell you what, Doug, Joe's Salmon Lodge sounds like a great saltwater fishing vacation to me. Folks, if you want to find out more about booking a trip for this summer, go to their website. It's joessalmonlodge.com. That's joessalmonlodge.com, offering quality salmon and halibut and rockfish fishing off the central Canadian coast in British Columbia. Doug, thanks for telling us all about this on America Outdoors Radio.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Founded by Alaskan fishermen, Banff boats are built with the saltwater angler in mind. Our boats are designed to be extremely stable and give you the smoothest ride of any like vessel in its class. Banff boats have fully enclosed cabins, a V-berth, a true walk-around deck, and are easy to maintain. With 4 models to choose from, we're sure to have the perfect boat to bring aboard more fish. Find out more at BAMFboats.com. BAMFboats.com. Building the perfect boat for you.
For the best custom knives that money can buy, visit exquisiteknives.com. American Bladesmith Society Master Smith Dave Ellis can provide you with an inexpensive hunting knife or a $50,000 bejeweled collectible folding knife. Dave's extensive knowledge will give you that cutting edge you desire. Check out our knives at exquisiteknives.com. That's exquisiteknives.com, where you'll find the finest custom knives in the world.
Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, a nationwide group working to keep public lands in public hands so future generations can enjoy what we enjoy. Join the group that makes a difference. Check us out at backcountryhunters.org.
It's time for another local shot of the outdoors. It's the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio, and you'll only hear it here on Fox Sports 1380 KRKO.
We're talking to Bob Rees for this portion of the show, and he is the man behind the Guides Forecast, a weekly newsletter that covers the fishing scene throughout the state of Oregon. Bob, how has the fishing been in and around Tillamook as of late?
Well, it has been fair. Actually, some of the better fishing we are anticipating will come a little bit later this month. Historically, the peak for Tillamook Bay Spring Chinook has been from mid-May to mid-June. Last year, we saw some of the best action take place towards the end of the month. This season so far, it has just been mediocre. There's been a couple of decent flurry days, but for the most part, it's been mediocre. But we anticipate some of the better fishing yet to come towards the end of the month.
Outside of salmon, are there other opportunities in the area that listeners ought to be aware of?
Absolutely. We're going to come up on another halibut opener here. We have kind of an offshore all-depth halibut fishery that takes place. There's been about 5 3-day windows here since mid-May, and we're going to have that this weekend. But then the nearshore halibut fishery also opened on June 3rd, and that's a 7-day-a-week season inside of 40 fathoms. And historically, we've had some pretty good opportunity for those nearshore halibut if you just happen to find them in the right place.
So, whether you are after halibut or whether you're after salmon, make a plan to head towards Tillamook and the northern Oregon coast because you might come home with a whole cooler full of fish. The website to find out more about fishing here and throughout the state of Oregon is theguidesforecast.com. Again, the Guides Forecast published every week. Check it out. Sign up for the newsletter. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you very much.
There's a whole bunch more of the great outdoors coming your way on Fox Sports 1380.
Looking for the safest, most stable riding boat on the market? Welcome to Stabicraft. Born in New Zealand, Stabicraft has a built-in reputation for making the most seaworthy boats on the market. Heavy gauge aluminum chambered boats with models ranging from 14 to 29 feet in a variety of configurations to suit all your needs. Check out the all-new 2750 center cab, a walk-around design for the Northwest market and packed with industry-leading features to suit all types of fishing, allowing you to adventure with confidence. Book a test ride today at stabicraft.com.
Are you an outfitter, sporting goods retailer, boat dealer, or someone else in the outdoors industry? If you are, you know targeted advertising works best, and what would work better than advertising with America Outdoors Radio? Our hour-long show is heard throughout Seattle, Everett, and the East Side every Saturday morning, and your message will be heard there too. Want to find out more? Contact me, John Cruz, through my website at AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. You're back with America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz, and this segment is sponsored by Northwest Sportsman Magazine. The Northwest is where we're taking you next, specifically to Bellingham, just south of the Canadian border. It's a nice city that sits right on Puget Sound, and if you go there, head to Bellhaven Yacht Sales and Charters. With us here to tell you more is Dave King. Welcome to the show, Dave.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to this.
Dave, I am too, because I was exploring your website before we went on the air, and you do a lot more than just sell yachts, don't you? Why don't you give an overview of the 3 things that your company offers in terms of sales, charters, and lessons?
Certainly. Our brokerage is a big part of our business, and we sell a lot of boats here out of Bellingham. It's a great place to have a boat because of the access to the San Juans. We have a lot of people, Canadians and folks from down Seattle, who keep their boats here in Bellingham. And we also, for the same reason, do a lot of chartering. Folks can get here, and they come in from around the world, charter one of our boats, either a sailboat or a powerboat, and after they've been checked out, an hour and a half later, they're in the San Juans, and usually on a one-week cruise, enjoying that themselves.
The San Juan Islands, folks, if you're not aware of them, Dave is, and I am, absolutely beautiful place to go boating. I mean, you've got the islands that are inhabited and that have ferry service, but then you've got all sorts of other islands. Some of them have state parks, some of them are private islands, some of them really don't have much at all on them. And then, just to the north of that, you've got the Gulf Islands that are part of British Columbia, and you can explore all of them from Bellingham. It's a great way to spend a week in the summer. Let's talk about these charters. Are these sailing yachts and power yachts that you're basically offering?
That's correct. We have everything from 33-foot Beneteau sailboats to a 44-foot Ocean Alexander powerboat. So depending on what people want to do and their level of experience, we also have a smaller 25-foot Grady White for those folks who are just interested in a day of fishing or crabbing during the later part of the season. That boat's available. available.
And I'll tell you what, having fished on board a Grady White, you picked a good one there. That's about the most stable fishing boat, I think, that's out on the water in terms of a sport fishing boat. Getting back to the experience you're going to have here, the San Juans and the Gulf Islands, you've got the crabbing, you've got fishing, you've got a great wildlife viewing, everything from bald eagles to sea lions and seals to the iconic orca whales that you're going to see around here, and other whales too, humpback whales and minke whales, and just so much beauty in this area. I'm guessing you don't just let anybody on board these charter boats, though. Is experience required, I presume?
Absolutely. One of the first steps, we have a resume form that you fill out that shows what your background is and your experience level compared to the type of boat you're trying to rent. For those folks who don't have the experience, we also have licensed captains. We'll set you up with one. So not only are you going to spend a week out there in the islands, but that captain will be willing to show you how to operate the boat so you'll be better prepared next time.
And speaking of being better prepared, for those that are listening today, but they're thinking, I don't know how to handle a 30-foot plus boat, and I certainly don't know how to handle a sailboat, you actually offer lessons out of Bellingham where folks can learn how to do this, don't you?
Absolutely. We offer a variety of ASA, that's the American Sailing Association classes, that are anything from weekend classes to a one-week cruise and learn where you get on the boats on Saturday morning and you don't come back to the dock until the Friday afternoon. And during that week's time, you're going to be handling the boat under a certified instructor and earning your qualifications that are not only good here but around the country. So if you want to go charter a boat in the Bahamas or down in the BVI's next time, you'll have your ASA certification with you, and that will allow you to charter boats there.
Well, Dave, we've got to go. But folks, as you can tell, Belhaven Yacht Sales and Charters, they offer a lot. You can either buy a yacht, you can charter a yacht, or you can learn how to sail a yacht. Your choice. Let's give out a website so folks can find out more.
They can visit us at Belhaven, that's with two L's, BELLHAVEN.net.
That's Belhaven.net, Belhaven.net. Check it out and plan your next big boat purchase or a charter vacation into the San Juan Islands and Gulf Islands. You're going to love it. Dave, thanks for sharing this with us on America Outdoors Radio.
Thank you. We'll see you outdoors.
Next on America Outdoors Radio, we're staying in the Northwest and we're checking in with Pro Escobedo. He is the owner of VIP Outdoors, offering guided fishing trips on the Columbia River and other Pacific Northwest destinations. He also puts on a tournament. It's called the Fish Like a Girl Tournament. Pro, tell our listeners more about this event.
Absolutely. We had the pleasure of starting this event about 3 years ago now. And what we did is I have had for the longest time a good female population of customers. And one day it just kind of hit me that I go, why don't we do something just for you gals? And I proposed this idea to some of my customers, and they thought it was an absolutely fabulous idea. So I said, let me get to work on it. And since then, we hosted the tournament, and we've really narrowed it down to really what we wanted to represent. And really what it comes down to is we want the gals to get out and have a good time and not have any stresses that they might feel otherwise when booking a guided trip. And so really we're just hoping to provide a platform for these gals to get out there and put a fishing rod in their hand and dance with some fish.
Well, you couldn't have it in a better place. It's taking place at the famed Buoy 10 fishery at the mouth of the Columbia River near Astoria. And what are the dates for it this August?
This August is the 10th through the 12th.
So it's the 10th through the 12th, and I understand folks can go on a guided fishing trip and participate, or they can do it themselves without a guide. How does that work?
Yeah, so we have, like you said, the guided and the non-guided. The guided is limited to 100 participants. As of right now, we actually are just over 90. I think we only have 6 slots left for that. On the non-guided, we completely understand that there's the do-it-yourselfers out there and there's significant others with boats, and they have their own boats. And we still want those gals to be part of the tournament, and that's something that we added this year. So we're allowing for 50 additional participants in the non-guided section, if you will, and where they still receive a lot of the same benefits as the gals that are in the guided portion. The only difference is they are not eligible to win the grand prize, which is a new Willie Drift boat.
And that was my next question. That grand prize, that new Willie drift boat, that is a fine drift boat. How much is that worth?
That boat right there retails for about $12,000.
Very nice. Now, I understand you can only win that Willie drift boat if you catch the biggest fish during this tournament and you're on a guided trip. But if you're non-guided and you're competing against the guided folks, what's the best prize you can win?
They are eligible to win the $20,000 mystery weight fish. So let me give you a rundown of the whole prizes and what gals receive when they register for the tournament. So regardless if you register for the guided or the non-guided, okay, you get 5 raffle tickets for the dinner on Saturday night. You get your dinner paid for on Saturday night. You get your fish cut up and vacuum packed, and you're eligible to participate in the mystery weight fish, which you could potentially win $20,000. The guided portion, you pay your registration fee. You get all the things we just discussed there. You also get a tournament hoodie sweatshirt and a goodie bag, if you will, and also eligible for the drift boat as well. We do have top 3 prizes. I should say the non-guided are not eligible for the top 3 prizes, which are the drift boat, 120-quart Yeti cooler, and a cash prize as well.
Well, those are some great prizes. What are the entry fees for both the guided and the non-guided?
So the guided registration fee is $125. The non-guided is $50.
That's incredible. I mean, considering everything you just described they're going to get and the chances of what they can win, $125 is nothing. So, Pro, I understand that it's a $125 entry fee for the guided fishing trip, but they still need to pay their guide, right?
That is correct. The guided fishing trip is taken care of directly between the guide and the participant. So they will be paying their guide in addition to the registration fees for their daily services.
One last question. Is there a website folks can go to find out more about the Fish Like a Girl tournament taking place at the mouth of the Columbia River near Astoria this August, and also about fishing with you for salmon and more on the Columbia River?
Absolutely. And that website is VIP Outdoors.
That's VIPOutdoors.com, VIPOutdoors.com. Check it out and find out more about the Fish Like a Girl tournament. Sign up. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And check out a chance to go fishing with Pro for salmon and more as well. Thanks for telling us all about this on America Outdoors Radio.
Sounds good, buddy. I appreciate the time.
If you consider yourself a hardcore fisherman who takes pride in being the first person on the water and the last one off, Fish Fighter products were designed for you. We make products for the relentless fishermen who know that big fish are caught by those who put in the work. With our Relentless Series tackle trays, rocket launcher rod racks, and breakaway river anchors, you'll spend more time chasing the fish, not your gear. Designed and built right here in the USA, Fish Fighter products won't let you down. Gear up at fishfighterproducts.com.
Tillamook Bay is considered the greatest fishing experience on the west coast for fall Chinook salmon and winter steelhead, and Dungeness crab is plentiful. 5 major rivers connect with the ocean on the Tillamook coast. It's not unusual to snag a 40 to 50 pounder. Go out in a boat or stand on a riverbank or dock. Try fishing from a dory boat and experience the thrill of a beach launch and landing. Use spinners, sand shrimp, or salmon eggs to lure them. The fish will line up to grab your bait. Go to tillamookcoast.com/fishing to find guides and places to stay.
Rad Power Bikes is an electric bike manufacturer offering direct-to-consumer pricing on powerful premium electric bikes. Because they sell direct to you, the consumer, you won't see the large retail markup that would be present if you were buying from a third party or a dealer, ensuring you're always getting a performance e-bike at a fraction of the cost. Visit radpowerbikes.com or call 1-800-939-0310 to learn more about their models or to place an order. Join Rad Power Bikes in jump-starting the electric bike revolution today.
Do you own a Honda outboard motor? Is your usually reliable motor got a problem that your local dealer can't fix? Then consider contacting Tyler Anderson at Tacoma Boat Sales. Tyler is the only Honda outboard motor certified master technician in the entire Western United States. Contact him through his website at TacomaBoatSales.com. That's TacomaBoatSales.com for Tyler Anderson, your Western U.S. Honda master technician.
Invasive species are organisms that are non-native to an ecosystem. They outcompete native species and reduce the quality of our resources. We can all prevent the spread by following the simple clean, drain, and dry steps. Clean all watercraft, trailers, and outdoor equipment. Drain all water from boat live wells, motors, ballast tanks, and bilges. And lastly, thoroughly dry all equipment and gear. Do your part to preserve our amazing outdoor heritage for future generations.
Have you wondered where to get your bolt carrier groups and barrels for the AR-15? Maybe you're looking for a quality 9mm bolt carrier. Spinta Precision is your source. Whether you're plinking, target shooting, or running a 3-gun match, Spinta Precision has what you need. Every product is American-made by Patriots for Patriots. Visit us at spintaprecision.com. That's spintaprecision.com for top quality bolt carriers and barrels.
You're back with America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz, and this segment is sponsored by the American Shooting Journal. It is the monthly publication that covers the firearms and shooting sports scene throughout North America. Look for it at a newsstand near you. We're going to start off with news from the tournament trail, and we'll start off by telling you who won the big FLW Central Division Tournament on Kentucky Lake, a big impoundment of the Tennessee River this past weekend. The winner was a Tennessee pro named Jason Lambert. He bested a 210 boat field to earn his 5th career win and over $97,000. Lambert's 3-day total of 15 bass weighed 71 pounds, 10 ounces. Wow, that is amazing. He won by only 7 ounces, though, with all of that weight. In addition to cash, that $97,000 package included a brand new Ranger bass boat with a 200-horse Evinrude outboard. The other big series is the Bassmaster Series, and we've got the results from the College Series wildcard title that also took place last week. This tournament was presented by Bass Pro Shops at Alabama's Lay Lake, and the winning team was Joshua Butts and Reed Connor out of Wallace State, Hanceville. They won with a 3-day total of 40 pounds, 11 ounces of bass. The other top finishers were Luke Gilland and Robbie Trohe of Bemidji State University out of Minnesota. They gave the Wallace State team quite a run for their money. And third place was Austin Mize and Parker Davis from the University of North Alabama. The top 18 teams from this wild card tournament are now qualified for the College National Championship, which is August 7th through the 12th on Bemidji Lake in Minnesota. Look out for that Bemidji State University team for this one. They will definitely have the home water advantage. Speaking of Minnesota, from the Outdoor Daily News, we learn of a mighty catfish angler who now owns 2 state records in this category. The funny thing, both fish weigh the same weight, and no, they're not the same fish. Jake Robinson caught and released the new record flathead May 15th on the Minnesota River near Savage. He caught the 49-inch fish on 100-pound test line, had a girth of 33.5 inches, identical to his previous record caught last year, June 7th of 2016. Because of different markings, they appear to be 2 distinct fish. Now, in case you're wondering, there are 2 kinds of Minnesota state records. One is for catching and keeping the biggest fish in each species, which is pretty typical across the U.S., and the other is for the length of a caught and released fish. In Minnesota, this applies to muskies, lake sturgeon, and flathead catfish. Robinson, an experienced catfish angler, has some advice for those targeting flathead catfish anywhere in the U.S. In his words, I have 11 years of targeting flathead cats and suggest to new anglers to stay on the move every 20 minutes if you don't get a bite. Thanks for the tip there, Jake. I think I'm going to have to try that out. And now we've got news about a recall from the firearms industry. Ruger recently discovered that all Mark IV pistols manufactured prior to June 1st, 2017 had the potential to discharge unintentionally if the safety is not utilized correctly. In particular, if the trigger is pulled while the safety lever is midway between the safe and fire positions. In other words, if the safety is not fully engaged or disengaged, then the pistol may not fire when the trigger is pulled. However, if the trigger is released and the safety lever is then moved from the mid to the fire position, the pistol may fire at that time. Wow, that would be an unexpected recoil. To find out if your Ruger Mark IV pistol is part of this recall, simply Google Ruger Mark IV recall. Follow the link to the Ruger website. You'll get more information there. Again, Ruger is recalling a good number of their Mark IV 22 caliber pistols. Google Ruger Mark IV recall on the internet. Follow the link to the Ruger website. Find out if your Ruger pistol is affected. Next up on America Outdoors Radio, we are heading about as far south as you can go and go hunting. We're heading to Argentina. The person that just got back from there is Shane Mizell with Leupold out of Beaverton, Oregon. Shane, welcome to America Outdoors Radio.
Thank you, John. Appreciate you having me on.
So, Shane, what were you hunting down in Argentina?
I was hunting red stag.
Well, the first I knew of this is when I saw a Facebook picture of a man on a horse with a rifle slung across his back. And the first thing I thought was, Shane's going all Western on me. And then I realized, nope, you're going really South American on me. Tell our listeners about the red stag as a big game species.
It is. It's actually the largest of the deer species. It's classified as a deer species, but it almost looks like an elk. It's got the antlers of an elk, but the body of a big-sized deer. They're pretty massive, impressive animals.
You know, I've heard of folks targeting red stag in New Zealand. I didn't even know that it was an option in Argentina. When you think Argentina, you always think dove hunting.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, they have some of the best bird hunting down there, but they definitely have a lot of big game. The outfitter that I was with, we had the options to hunt red stag, water buffalo, mouflon sheep, black buck, multi-horn sheep, Dall sheep. They just had everything down there. So I think over the years they've transplanted a lot of species down to Argentina, and there's a lot of opportunities to hunt some pretty impressive animals down there.
So tell me about the outfitter you were with and just a quick overview of the hunt itself, how it took place.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was at a place called Rincón de Luna, which is, I believe, Corner of the Moon, translated. We booked them through Worldwide Trophy Outfitters, WTA, which I think used to be Cabela's Outfitters. And the hunt was just a fantastic experience altogether. We were off on this very remote area in northwestern Argentina, up in the mountains. As you saw from the pictures there, you horseback everywhere. It's very desolate but beautiful terrain. I would almost equate it to Montana, a mix of Montana and New Zealand. Now, I've never been to New Zealand, but I've seen the Lord of the Rings movies, and so when I see those mountains up there, that's what I picture the New Zealand area, and then on the flats and below the mountains is more of a Montana with two rivers running through it and just all sorts of species, fly fishing. It was truly an amazing experience.
Fortunately, you work for Leupold and Stevens. You're the trade marketing manager. That means you got to bring lots of goodies from Leupold to help you on your hunt. What did you use to help you get a stag?
I did. I used kind of our entire gamut. I had our BX4 Pro Guide binoculars to help me spot the animals. I used our RX1200i TBRW range-finding binoculars to help range when I did find the animal that I wanted and identified it to know my distance. And then I used our new VX6 HD rifle scope to help sight in and harvest that animal. And I am very lucky in the job that I have to have access to all those wonderful products. It was a wonderful experience.
So it sounds like, from the way you're talking, you did get a red stag. Tell me about the animal you harvested.
I did. I was able to harvest a what I consider a giant animal. There's a bunch of different classes of animal down there, and I did not pay up, as they say, for a large one. But for me, it's the largest animal I've ever taken or harvested. It was about 323 inches, if you're into that sort of thing. But he was a very old stag. They aged him at about 12 years. Beautiful looking animal, and really fun sort of experience.
Oh, it sounds like an absolute hoot. So the last question I have for you, for folks wanting to find out more about this sort of hunt, are there some resources? Did you go with anybody who is covering the hunt that's going to have it in media somehow?
We did. Fantastic question. We actually had a few different writers from some outdoor publications, and so there will be coverage on the hunts specifically, but also the outfitters in Argentina, in Outdoor Life, Field and Stream, NRA's American Hunter, and Peterson's Hunting. Those publications are great for helping inform people about different ways of hunting and places to go, and they will be covering this hunt in their pubs.
Well, there you go, folks. Argentina for red stag. It's the first I heard of it, maybe the first time you've heard of it too, but if you want to find out more, check out some of those publications in the coming months. And if you want to find great gear to help you bag an animal, either in Argentina or right here in North America, look no further than Loophole.com or your local sporting goods retailer. Get binoculars, spotting scopes, rangefinders, and rifle scopes to help you have success in the field. It's all from Loophole Optics and Loophole and Stevens. Shane, always a pleasure to talk to you on America Outdoors Radio.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
We've got to go, but if you get a chance, check out our website at AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com and our Facebook page too, which you'll find at America Outdoors Radio. You can catch our show on the web at WRVO Radio. That website, RenoViolaOutdoors.com. And we post podcasts every week on YouTube. Our channel, Northwestern Outdoors, that's one word. Go ahead and follow that, and you'll get to hear us anytime you want to. It's time for us to go, but as always, I hope the good Lord blesses you in the week ahead. And I also hope you get out there for some early summer fun. The summer solstice is upon us, and it's time to get out there and enjoy all that summer has waiting for you. Remember, it's your country and your outdoors.
It's time for another local shot of the outdoors. It's the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio, and you'll only hear it here on Fox Sports 1380 KRKO.
We're checking in with Bob Reese again with the Guides Forecast. Bob, we talked earlier about fishing on the North Coast and around Tillamook. Let's talk about crabbing and clamming, two other popular pursuits. How has that been going so far in June?
Well, commonly, this time of year, the crabbing does drop off a little bit because we had a pretty intensive commercial ocean harvest through the winter months. I did come in the dock the other day and saw two crabbers, what looked to be, with the limit of crab for each one of them. That's 12 apiece. We get a pretty generous limit down here. It kind of surprised me, but ocean crabbing remains kind of challenging because of the intensive commercial harvest. But some of the bay crabbing appears to be picking up, especially now that we haven't had a lot of freshwater influx from the dramatically wet winter and spring that we've endured down here.
Turning our attention to clams, you've got some great bay clamming. What are some places you suggest folks go to?
Tillamook Bay clamming is one of the more consistent fisheries we have down here. You do have to look for the Minus Tide series, but Garibaldi in of itself is one of the most productive for a variety of different bay clams. So you can get some steamers and cockles and some blues, and so there is great clamming that takes place out of Garibaldi. You do have to pay attention to those big Minus Tides, which often happen during the spring months. So good time to be doing it.
So, if you're after some cioppino or some chowder, that would be a good option for you. And if you want to get some Dungeness crab early, the northern Oregon coast looks like it is turning on early. The website to find out more and the newsletter to sign up for, you'll find it at theguidesforecast.com. That's theguidesforecast.com. Bob, thanks again. We'll have you on the show again soon.
Thank you, John. Take care.
Are you an outfitter, sporting goods retailer, boat dealer, or someone else in the outdoors industry? If you are, you know targeted advertising works best, and what would work better than advertising with America Outdoors Radio? Our hour-long show is heard throughout Seattle, Everett, and the East Side every Saturday morning, and your message will be heard there too. Better still, our rates are way more affordable than you think. Want to find out more? Contact me, John Cruz, through my website at AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. That's America Outdoors Radio, bringing you more business.
Rad Power Bikes is an electric bike manufacturer offering direct-to-consumer pricing on powerful premium electric bikes. Because they sell direct to you, the consumer, you won't see the large retail markup that would be present if you were buying from a third